Did he come to repudiate that? Did he come to change his thoughts?
Not at all.
Because of the readings that he himself gave?
I think Esther can answer that very well.
No, he did not. He taught a Sunday school class clear up almost to the time he died. The basis of his readings are Christ-oriented. There is no other way, he said. And he read the Bible through 1 year, one time for every year of his life. He caught up by the time he was 20 to that age. And so some of his readings have the language of more or less the King James Bible, those especially that deal with their spiritual nature. But this probably is because of his close association.
When you say that all these things are seen in terms of Christ-likeness, what did Cayce think about Christ? And we got to differentiate between, the natural state and the trance state. Let's talk about the trance state, or the readings. What the movement holds. What do they hold about Jesus Christ as in terms of who he is, and so on? In other words, Orthodox historic Christianity holds that Jesus Christ was both God and man in one person, okay, unique. And they worship him as God. Now, does Cayce hold that?
He held that, that Jesus was the Son of God, and that he became the Christ. He became Christ.
Okay, but to differentiate that, when we say he was the Son of God, are we sons of God like Jesus?
We can become sons of God.
Okay.
I think we're all children. We have one Father. The whole nation has one Father. But then there is a different, maybe, connotation. We choose to become sons of God.
But do you think that's the same thing that Orthodox historic Christianity is saying?
I think we're talking about the same thing, John, and saying it different ways. We are indeed children of God because we were created in the image of God. And God is a spirit, and our souls were created in that spiritual image, not this physical image. So in that sense, we all have a part of God within us, you see.
But is that what Orthodox historic Christianity is saying, Harvey?
No, I'm sure they're not.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, there are many mountains to God, many roads to the mountain of God, so to speak. Some denominations go up one road, some the other road, some the other road, and we're all trying to reach the same thing.
The thing is, though, Harvey, that if you have a basketball hoop, if I throw the ball up in the air any old direction, it doesn't always go through the hoop.
This is true. This is true.
And the thing is, like Bertrand Russell once said, when you have thousands of different religious positions all saying different things, and then at the end you say, but they all mean the same. He said one or the other could be right when they're contradicting each other intellectually. But they both can't be right at the same time when they're saying different things. I mean, it doesn't make sense to say that Orthodox historic Christianity says this, but they really mean the same thing that we're saying, even though we define it differently.
The Cayce readings bring out time and time again. It's not really important what you believe. It's what you do with what you believe. In other words, if you believe in patience and in love and in kindness, these are the things, he said, apply what you know. In fact, he said, knowledge not used is sin. That's the basic philosophy as far as applying what we know, not what we believe. We all have different beliefs, and I think beliefs sometimes are divisive.
Mm-hmm. The only thing is that if we have to get back to an authority, and the thing is to say, just believe without checking out if there's something to believe in. Is there any evidence to put belief any place? I could believe in this table, but the question is, can that table do anything for me? And I think that's a primary question. I guess that when you go through the universities, they're not questioning the fact that you have the choice to believe in anything, and you can define patience in any way, but they want to know, why is it that we ought to believe this man or anybody else when they say this is what love is? This is how to have patience. For example, if Hitler were to define patience as saying that we would be a lot more patient if we could just eliminate 5 million Jews, and we want to help them get to their eternal reward a little quicker than everybody else. You know, if he defines it that way, who's to say he's right in how he defines the word patient, or if he thinks that's love?
But John, in the Cayce readings and all the commentaries that you read, patience is the kind of attribute of behavior that Jesus had. Let me read you just one reading this
Okay.
week. In one reading, it says, "Love then divine, as was manifested in Jesus of Nazareth, must be the rule, yea, the measuring stick, the rod by which ye shall judge thy motives, thy impulses, thy associations. For without him, there is nothing that can endure."
Okay.
That's how basic he is.
Yes. And Christianity agrees that Jesus Christ is the measuring stick, and he defines what love is.
Right.
But the thing that seems to be the rub when you, and in my readings of what Cayce himself said and what his son said about his dad, was the thing that scared Cayce to death was that he came to a different understanding of who Jesus was than what he had been taught from his biblical background. Namely that Jesus not only was unique in the sense that he was an example of what love is, but more than that, he was unique not in what he just showed to us, but in who he was. And that in no sense was he a son of God in the sense that we are sons of God. He was uniquely the Son of God, so that he could say in the garden to Mary, "I ascend to my Father and to your Father. I'm going to talk to my God and your God." He would not say our God. Because why? He had a relationship that was different, uniquely different than the ones we share. That doesn't mean that we can't have a relationship with him, but his relationship was that he was very God with Father and Holy Spirit. And Christianity doesn't want to be picky about things. It's just the sense it's a question of truth. If Jesus himself said that about himself, if he told us that, if we are going to be Christians, followers of Christ, we either hold that and define it as he defined it, or if we hold something else, then we can't say we are followers of Christ. Does that make any sense?
Let me say something. Mr. Cayce said that no matter what religion you came from, what denomination, if you were a Catholic and this work, the search for God, did not make you a better Catholic, you should not have anything to do with it. If you were Presbyterian, the same way. If you were Buddhist, it should be something that would help you find God. Hopefully, you would get a much larger understanding and a much better understanding of God than you ever had. Personally, my understanding grows. I believe differently now than I did 20 years ago.
Isn't it kind of suspicious, though, to say that the one same thing can help you understand, say, 1,000 different worldviews a little bit better? In other words, you see, Christianity comes into the sense of saying that Jesus Christ, like he himself said, and he's the one that told us this, he says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man will come to the Father but by me." The church was built on the foundation of Christ. They were to worship him and to serve him. And that is absolutely the opposite of what Hinduism is saying, or the Muslims are saying, or Buddhists are saying. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Only as they seek God, only as they seek God can this make